I'm gonna try this again. Get this started.
Thanks for being here.
My race is 10 seconds.
Okay.
5. On the whistle. Have a safe race.
So apparently I did a stream just a second ago and my audio was not working at all. So now it's working. I installed a VR headset and that kind of messed my settings up. So OBS have to remember use my earphones, use my Yeti. My voice should be coming through. I should be appearing around the bottom left corner. Transparent. 360 camera. My goals for this race were just to sit in, and that's what I did. I sat in the whole race. I had a safe race. I wish I had a sprint to... I felt like if I had a good sprint, I could have been competitive towards the end, but it's still... I guess towards... I guess June is technically the middle of the season, so we're coming up on the middle of the bike season. But yeah, just the problem with today's race is that I was very cold. So I was wearing shorts and everything like that. But if I didn't have this vest, I would have been in a bad state. And I mainly put on the vest because I was wearing a one-piece garment, and I knew that I didn't have a cloth number, as no one has a cloth number except if you're a Cat 5. So I wanted to be able to remove the vest to pin the number on the vest. I don't want to really depend on anybody to pin the number on, so yeah, I pinned it on the vest. Yeah, if I didn't have that vest today, I would have... Well, even taking it off, I was freezing. Someone's commenting on the side of the line. What's wrong with you? Are you going to fall over or something? What's wrong with you? And I'm like, I'm just cold. What are you going to do? I was shivering on the side of the road. Before a race, I was just so cold and my teeth were chattering. Yeah, this race, because it's like such an open area and it's like it's a lot windier, so you got a wind chill happening, and yeah, 60 seems like it feels nice when it's not windy, but when it is windy, you know, wind chill can bring down temperatures by another 10 degrees. So I was underdressed. I wish I wore more, so I wouldn't have been so cold. Because being so cold means, like, even in a bike race, it's just like I don't even feel like I can perform. It's just cold. It feels like I'm just cold. But I warm up during the race, and but I'm not really in the race. But I think for me, my goal is just to move up. These races are when I wasn't very consistent with my training, these races were very motivational, because it's fairly easy to get a pack finish in this race. Yeah, there were a couple moments where if I didn't start spinning my legs, I would have been off the pack, but yeah, I just turned on my legs, but most of the time it's like this. It's just like you're coasting around doing 0 watts. The average was 180. I think normalized 250 or something like that. Nothing spectacular. I have, I think, yeah, I weighed in this morning of the bike race at 190, and I have around a 350 watt FTP. So if you can imagine averaging 180, yeah, I didn't really feel like I had to work at all during this race. And I could, if I went to the front, yeah, I could have done some work. I could have worked hard at the front. I wouldn't have been off the front. I would have worked hard at the front. And that's what my fitness is. It's like I've built up my current engine, my current training has built me up in such a way that I can hold an effort for a long time. I could hold a lot of watts. Someone could do a big jump on the roads, and I can smoothly reconnect with them. It's not a jump. I don't need to jump. I can increase my watts and bridge gaps without jumping. So that's what I do during this race. I find instances where the people ahead of me, they disconnect from these front wheels, and I find a way around them, and I reconnect, and that's what I do all race. I'm like, there are people at the back, and I don't know how their training is compared to mine. It doesn't really matter, because the person that I care about is me, so I worry about my training, worry about how consistent it is. Okay, yeah, the watts is a lot, but not for me. It's relative. It's all relative. I've capped 4 watts. Intervals, the ICU, that's the site I'm using now, because it's the cheapest, $50 a year. It's telling me I have capped 4 watts across the board, except for my sprint power, 5-second and 60-second power is like a novice cyclist. So not Cat 5, rec cyclist. So that's where I'm at. I have Cat 4 watts except for like basically untrained legs. I don't have the ability to hold for my weight, and I'm pretty close to optimal weight. Like give or take a couple pounds. That's about 600 watts to get to Cat 5. So still novice watts. So I need actually 700 watts for a minute to have Cat 4 1 minute, which is not impossible. I don't know what the signal was from this guy. I thought maybe he wanted to go out. He wanted the right side, take that right line. So I slowed down a little bit, and I got behind him. I got on his left side, but then later on he pulls in front of me on the left side. So here I am doing this maneuver. I'm letting him have that outside thing because I don't know, he wants to move up on the right side. So here he is over here. He never takes the right side, even though he makes that right hand signal. So I don't know what the purpose of that signal is. It was absolutely a lie. Because yeah, he puts in a little effort to pull in the front of my wheel here. So whatever. This is Floyd Benefield racing at its best. You have people that are literally making signals that are meaningless. And I could have been farther inside on the right side. But like even here, it's not even working. It's just like I'm coasting here. You don't need to be on top of these people and riding those brakes, stop and go. And that's basically what you would be doing at the. But here, Floyd, this is the. Every time we go around, this is that final corner. Right ahead is the start line. I think they do preems for this race, so there are people that are sprinting to get. I think they're paid preems, so it's not like CRCA where you have to win sprints in order to get a podium spot. It is a they just give you a cash price. So you have a lot of these instances where they're ringing the bell, and that's not an indication of the last lap. That's an indication of a sprint lap. What was really nice about this race today was that there were no crashes, and that's what I've observed. I've actually missed a couple races, the last couple races. Last weekend there was a club race I missed because I was throwing up the day before. I had to take the day off work because I was just throwing up, I woke up in the morning. I hadn't trained all week, and I still couldn't train. And my Garmin was like, "Take a break." Like, dang. And you know what? I ended up deleting my trainer road plan because it doesn't make any sense anymore. I don't feel like I have the right tools in my quiver for trainer road anymore because I have too many events on it. I set it up so there are some weeks that I have up to 4 events, and then it's like, okay, yeah, like after you do your 2 hard events back to back, do a VO2 max 9.0. No, I don't want to, like, I'm starting, like, I failed my 9.0, so it brought down my VO2 max to a 6 now. So that's, yeah. And each time I attempt these workouts they give me, I get a PR on my things. So yeah, they're just impossible at this point. The trainer roads are on a 10-point scale, or you get credit for up to 10 points. You can do an 11 workout, a 12 workout, you get 10 points for it, even if you do a 100 one. And there is possible to do a sprint workout worth 100. Their algorithm's broken if you set up a custom workout with 400% FTP or something like that, because you bought a trainer that can do 2,000 watts or 2,500 watts. It can feed you that resistance. So, but there's no workout on Trainer Road that'll allow you to do that. You can post on the forum. They're like, "Oh yeah, you shouldn't be using a trainer to do that." It's like, why in the hell did I spend $1,500 on a trainer that I can't use now because it's the wrong tool? Whatever. That's people on the forums, the Freds out there. They know better, and they're there to make you have a bad day, and they get a rise out of it. So that's what it is. Just like Reddit. If you're unpopular on Reddit, which I am, go on Reddit. It's always a bad time, unless I totally agree with them or I join the trolls. If I want to say something, have a legitimate conversation about anything, I get downvoted because there's Reddit is broken. It's for trolling. So you want to not be a troll. You want to be a nice guy. You can't be a nice guy on Reddit because it's made for trolls. and you'll get downvoted by trolls who want you to be a toxic person, and I don't want to be a toxic person. So yeah, there's a conundrum here. So yeah, I like to be able to like post my watts in here, but I realize that seeing that number is not going to mean a whole lot. But I did buy a device for the 360. Apparently, this remote here, action remote, whatever. It captures GPS data. The camera doesn't do that on its own. You need to pair the action remote to it. So with the action remote, the software apparently will give me some ability to overlay course information and speeds. Yeah, that's all that's relevant, to be honest. You seeing my heart rate, you seeing my power, like, do you really need to know it? Probably not. It's not helpful for you to see it. To be honest, the way I feel about power at this point is that it's if it makes me feel good to see I have 350 watts, if I can occasionally complete workouts that are productive on trainer roads, with that, good, great. But I shouldn't have to feel like, I'm not allowed to have a certain FTP because it's higher than yours, and you have to feel self-conscious about it. And that's what I feel like on places like Reddit and other forums. It's like people want to troll you, make you feel bad, troll you. And it's working. I tell you what, it is working. I feel like I need to talk to a therapist now after being on Reddit and other social media. Because I've been trolled so badly that I need a therapist now. So good job. It worked. I need a therapist. And I have one. I have a therapist. I have a therapist that has helped me become a little bit less self-conscious about. I guess for the longest time I suffered from having a inferiority complex. So I would just feel like I'm not good enough for anybody, and that what that really affected me negatively is that I never had a girlfriend before I started talking to that particular therapist. I had therapists before, but with this current therapist, I was able to get into a place where I was able to put myself out there consistently, deal with the headaches of dating and disappointments and all that, and get a girlfriend. I have another girlfriend now, kind of long story, long distance relationship now, but whatever. It is what it is. But I'm at a point in my life I just want to focus on my bike riding now. I don't want to worry about finding another partner. It's not, that's more local. So that's where I'm at right now. But that's fine. This is fine. At the end of the day, I just need to focus on what I like, and I like to race. I like to race often. I like to do the workouts that I want the workouts to be, I remember getting into Trainer Road last season, and I was really happy about it because I grew my FTP a lot. But I feel like the training plans are great when you don't have a packed calendar like I do. Like I'm packing my calendar. It's like, okay, Tuesday here, Wednesday, Cat 6, and then Saturday, Sunday could be a racing. This weekend, no racing. Thank goodness. I did a VO2 max workout that I ended up quitting the workout because I got distracted. I was distracted about what I was putting in my water bottles. And I started overthinking it, but I really just needed to be really present in the effort that I was doing because it was I was performing a season PR. And I got the season PR, but I didn't finish the workout. It was a 90-minute workout. I did 40 minutes. 40 minutes is still good. I still accomplished something. I got a PR out of it, a season PR. So that's something to be patting myself on the back. So did I fail the workout? I didn't fail the workout. I just didn't advance my VO2 max low. It has been reduced. It was at a 9. Now it's at a 6 because I haven't made progress on it. So that's good. If it makes sense to do VO2 max, then I'll do it. To be honest, all the workouts, I looked at the calendar. That's with the holes in the calendar that it has. I can look forward to VO2 max and sweet spot. That's all it'll give me, and nothing else. VO2, that's the training plan, high volume. It seems to just, it seems to be, have no rhyme or reason. Now, riding outdoors. Yes, I can go ride outdoors. However, if I'm going to ride outdoors, I should be riding with people that are faster than me, that I'm going to struggle to keep up with. If I fall asleep, if I start coasting and stuff like that, I'll be off the back, and it should be full drop, and I should be, riding disappointed and turning around and going home when I get dropped. That's probably going to be the most effective ride for me at this point, because if I just go out solo somewhere, I'm going to be riding like I rode this bike race. I'm just not going to be pushing myself. And yeah, so this is the logic I have for wanting to do the 1, 2, 3 next week, is that I know the 1, 2, 3 race is going to be faster. It's like 2 laps longer. So it costs the same. So it's going to be a better bang for my buck to be. So the $35, I feel like it's going to be, they're going to give me a run for my money. I'll probably be even off the back. And you know what? I think I'll probably be back here talking about it. Be talking about it and be like, you know what? It actually feels good. It actually feels good. I can't say the same. I'd rather do a 3-4 race in Prospect Park or Central Park. But for Floyd, I feel like I should go harder. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Will it be any different? Will it be the same? Will it be sitting out the back? Absolutely. I'll absolutely be. I am not going to do any magic. I guess something would be smart for me to do as a Cat 3 now, is to ride in those 1, 2, 3 races, and then towards the end of the season, like in August or something, sign up for these 3-4 races again and see if I can make something happen with the 1-2-3 fitness. You know, that fitness where I had to struggle to stay on. And if I make it to the end, if I make it to the end of that race, riding at the back, I'm going to be so strong. And then I'm going to like come in here and just be like, come back to see these guys at the end of the season and be like, you know, be really a real contender. Because right now I'm not a contender. I'm just, this is not feeling like I have to work a little harder on the last corner is whatever. It's whatever. It really is. I want to struggle more. It's a flat race after all. The only thing gets you here is rolling resistance. Because the road is rough. It's an old road. It's several years overdue for resurfacing and repaving. Yeah, there's cracks all over the place. There's like 3 big bumps on the course that will test the inflation of your tires. So if you usually run a tire pressure, that will bottom out on like a hard curb hit, and you'll be pinching out for that. I like to run high pressure, so that means tube tires for me. I just feel more comfortable with that. I had 28 millimeter Continentals. I ran them at 90 psi, which is actually at the bottom of the recommended range. I have another bike with 25s on them, and I run them at 100 psi, which is also near the bottom of the recommended range. That works for me. Yeah, you lose watts for running at lower pressure, but because I've been good with my weights, I could do that. Now, compared to tubeless, like these numbers I'm talking about are just astronomical compared to tubeless, but I'm not interested in tubeless. I've tried it. It didn't work for me. I spent maybe $500-600 on tubeless tires and accessories, and I did not have good experiences with them. I've spent thousands of dollars on tube tires, and most of the time I've had good experiences. So I'm just going to vote with my wallet here and just say tubed, and that's where I'm at. And I rather have, if I'm going to shop for wheels, I'd rather have hooked wheels. So this bike, the silver bike, I have the Roval wheels, which are hooked, and then on my new pink bike, the S-Works bike, that I'm not going to take here because I don't need to be 2 pounds lighter for a flat crit. Or flat race, flat circuit race. It's not a crit. It's there's no free laps, so it's a circuit race. That guy probably just went over that bump just now and hit the flat. A lot of people flatting out, but luckily it seems that the people riding out today are experienced riders. So never anything there, but I don't know. I just didn't feel like I feel like my current training is geared towards steady efforts. I did a lot of zone 2 work. I did a lot of and now it just has like VO2 max, VO2 max. like at this point I'm sick of VO2 Max. I deleted my training program because VO2 Max, VO2 Max, VO2 every week, VO2 Max, VO2. It's like, no. How many months am I going to do VO2 Max? Come on. I just don't want to do it anymore. It's boring. It's not fun anymore. That's the training program. High volume. Oh, great. Thanks. It makes zero sense. I'll do my own. Plus the workouts they give you are like I have no idea what, like they give the structure of the intervals that they give you in the training programs don't make a lot of sense. But, you know, it has a lot of different workouts. I have a bunch of favorites. So I like to do my favorite workouts all over the place, and, you know, I know what works, what does it. I had a coach before for 3.5 years, so I'm familiar with where I'm at. I pack finished today for this bike race, so that was an accomplishment for sure. But if I can pull off a pack finish in 1, 2, 3s, I think I would feel a lot better about that than pack finishing here. At this point, I feel like I want to be top 10, and I don't have the right training in my quiver to do that. And because this is a race, you know, obviously I'm not doing another training on this day. In order to make the race, I basically leave. I work from home and leave like just after 5, out the door and bike over, and then within the next half hour the bike race starts. Yeah, the extra time definitely helpful. If I get a flat tire on the way over, I have time to fix it and still race. That's important for me. For coming out for Floyd, I bring 2 flats or 2 spare tubes in my rear pockets. I keep my nutrition in my water bottles. So I've been using Gatorade Essential for a while, but I'm going to take a break from it and just go back to sugar. I think my workouts were better with sugar. I think the races I did were better with sugar. The advantage of the Gatorade stuff was that it's salty, but doubling up on the having like 2 scoops or something just made it taste awful. And I guess part of that is just it puts more salt in the water. Mixing Crystal Light and sugar seemed to work pretty well for me, so I want to do that. I've done that before, and I feel like I could meet that goal of having 120 grams of carbs per hour in a water bottle. And I feel like it didn't really blast the calories so much. Because I rather eat the calories than drink them, to be honest. Like it's not really filling to drink calories, but that's what you're kind of doing with the Gatorade. But I'm still gonna buy Gatorade at the rest stops when I do those long rides on 9W. But I just have to keep in mind when I ride on 9W, it's not really. When I'm riding by myself, I'm not really gonna push hard unless someone passes me, and then yeah, maybe I will humor them for a mile or 2 and then go back to doing my own thing. And maybe get yelled at by them, because maybe I'll sit on their wheel for a bit and they'll be like, oh, I don't want you to sit on my wheel. And I'll be like, oh, that's too bad. Maybe you should ride with a trailer so no one can sit on your wheel. Oh, you asshole, this and that. It's gonna be okay. You know what? If you get in a car and you drive it around, people are gonna drive right behind you. And you're not gonna be, I guarantee you don't stop your car and start screaming at them like you do with your bike. But that's happened to me on the bike. It's like people are like, okay, yeah, I don't feel great about. Are you worried that I'm going to crash into you? Because if I do, that's not going to even affect you. I've had instances where I've crashed into people from behind and it's like they didn't even notice. I was on the ground and they didn't even notice. So 3 laps to go according to the marker. And yeah, this is... If you were looking at the race from now and you weren't mesmerized by the sound of my glorious voice, yeah, you could probably just click off the video now or move to another video, because it's not like I'm going to be doing anything interesting here. I'm just going to be riding behind these guys, giving lots of space. For me, I still felt a draft because there's just so many people here. I don't need to be close to them because there's like, pretty sure there's like 100 people in this race. So yeah, it will remain to be seen. Like maybe I sign up for 1, 2, 3 next week. I last 2 laps or something, and then I'm back here, and I'm like, oh man, I really got humbled. It's just another level. Or maybe I go like, maybe I get more motivated to work hard and train. And I'm hoping for the motivation. I'm hoping to be motivated by being humbled by stronger riders. That's what I'm hoping to happen. And because I know moving into that harder group is going to be a harder race. I'm not making any headway here, and I'm not going to make any headway there. And maybe riding in with the faster guys, maybe in order to survive, I'll just have to ride a lot closer to people. You know, I'll just have to be bursty with my power, I guess. And then it'll make sense to do workouts that enable being very bursty. So yeah, I'm getting tired of looking at it. This is actually the second time I'm doing this live stream. I did it once about an hour ago, and the whole time I was talking to myself. But you know what? It's probably better that one went away, because I was complaining and about every little thing. I was cursing a lot. So it didn't feel bad because I don't really want to present myself as somebody that has to blame everybody for what's my responsibility. I'm responsible for me, for how I race, for, you know, right here, like my hands are on this bike, my feet are on this bike. This is what I'm responsible for. Not responsible for anyone else. And I need to remember that. But I definitely have more fun in races where I'm in the front. But the quiver is, I have the wrong quiver for that. I have slow and steady, consistent. So I lose a few wheels there. Guess it could have been more bursty, but it looked like the guy went off the course outside the cones because who knows? Who knows why? 2 laps to go. Laps to go. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely cold. Definitely very cold. And you know what? I thought it was cold on Tuesday, but then I went on a Wednesday, and that was something else. So it was like 70. It was warmer in the evening. I didn't even wear a vest. And then it started pouring rain on the way back. So I spent a good 40 minutes riding home in the pouring rain. I had frostbite on my arms, I had frostbite on my legs. Surprisingly not on my feet and hands. But yeah, arms and legs, like the whole arm. It looked like I had sunburn, but it wasn't sunburn. It had turned red because it was just so frozen. My legs looked sunburned. I was wearing sunscreen and everything. It wasn't that. It was me actually just being so cold. To be so cold. What could I have done differently? Maybe wore long sleeves? I don't know, so I have like a long sleeve jersey. It's a medium. I've had it for a number of years, but it feels kind of loose on me now because I guess I'm skinnier. I'm as skinny as I've ever been. I actually went to Mount Sinai. First I went to like this place nearby to get a DEXA scan. Apparently I'm way too tall for the DEXA machine. So the machine cut off my head, half my arms, and my feet. And then it said I had 22% body fat. And I'm thinking my body fat is out of control for my weight. And I'm thinking I need to like lose even more weight because 22% body fat and skinny. And I'm like, okay, something's wrong here. But I look at the data, I see that they actually cut off several body parts because I'm not only too big, but I also have broad shoulders. So So it's like, you know, I'm stretched out over this machine, and it's just like, yeah, the result is going to be skewed. I read studies that showed that, you know, the body fat's going to be off. If you just cut off your head, it's like it's going to be 10% off. If you just cut off the feet, it's going to be 10% off. They didn't even say anything about cutting off the arms. So it's already at least 20% off. It's not saying anything about cutting off the arms. So I'm missing several body parts. My body is being evaluated as the whole body, as my current weight, as my whole body. And I get this high number, and I'm like, there's no way. So I go to Mount Sinai. I get something called a bod pod, which you do with air displacement. I'm not too tall for this machine. I go in there. I step on their scale. At the time, I'm 185. You know, in the hospital. I'm not. I think I did have to fast for that one. They asked me to. So I fasted for it. I was 185. And I got 13% body fat. So that made a lot more sense to me. They told me like DEXA is technically more accurate, and I told the nurse there, I was like, listen, I did a DEXA and I got this result. He said that does sound kind of high, and I was like, yeah, I figured because they had to cut off several body parts, and of course, you know, they sold me like the DEXA scan costs like $150. So they sold me this test, and it's like they didn't even, you know, they don't even say anything. They just cut off all this stuff, and they presented a result, this inconclusive, bad result. You know, I should have even had a refund, but I'm just not going to do a DEXA scan before, because the DEXA scans are all from the same company. So it's not like I'm magically going to get on a machine that's designed for taller individuals. It doesn't make sense to make a machine for taller individuals. The test is so... People don't perform body fat tests. It's very, very rare. But I wanted to calibrate my my scale, because that was a firmware feature added to the Garmin scale that I use. And yeah, I wanted to get that body fat scan. So it gave me the 13%. That makes more sense. As I said, I'm up to like 190 now. Yeah, I'm not doing those same workouts. I'm eating a little more. I've incorporated some strength work, if you want to call it strength work. It's you know, I put what's going on? I strap these things to my body. This is a power dot. I have a power dot. I have another thing with a bunch of wires. You put on the pads. It zaps you. It effectively makes me sore. I tried playing some volleyball with, you know, the upper body stuff I do with it, and I was able to hit the ball really hard. You know, I was able to crank out. You know, I tried doing push-ups before using the machine. I could barely do any. After using the machine, I could crank out a lot of push-ups. So, perfect for me. It's great. Electrocuting myself works great for me because I want to be skinny. I want to be strong and skinny. Is that helping me be a faster bicyclist? Absolutely not. Actually, getting my legs fatigued makes me less effective at the workout. So it's like now I'm too tired to do certain workouts. I'm absolutely sore. So working those muscles is not helping me at all. I'm not getting any upper body work, any core or anything from riding the bike, and I should have some strength And strength is not the same as size. I'm not a bodybuilder, you know. Obviously, if you were to put my work into bodybuilder terms, I would be someone who's effectively in a cut all the time. But I'm not, because I'm still gaining power on the bike. I'm mostly concerned about being faster in the bike races. So zapping my upper body, you know, above the waist, it works. It's fine. These are not muscles that, like me having like sore arms and stuff like that, and you know, sore abs, sore back, whatever. These are not things that are really affecting me in a way. Like technically, yeah, having a sore back, yes, but it's sore because I worked on it, not because I hurt my back or something. I feel that's different. It feels different. So this is the last lap. This is the final sprint. Yeah, there's people sprinting, and I just don't have the ability to do that because I haven't been doing those types of workouts. I've been doing the types, you know, my workouts have been those VO2 max things where it's like, okay, yeah, do 150% of your FTP for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, something like that. And do that over and over and over and over and over. It's like, okay, yeah, sure. So now I can do these efforts 150, but that's not like the sprint I actually need is like, you know, 300%, 400%. So, but the training plan will never give me those. So I want to manage my own training. So yeah, I hope you found this useful. Let's take a let her run here for a second. That's the end of the race. But yeah, I guess I'll be on here next week and, you know, I can comment on how it goes.